to replicate some kind of that performance means the world to them. No better place to do it for Torji than here, right here in Budapest. So I'm curious to see if they're actually true, right? Have they worked harder than ever? Have they raised their level a little bit? And can they potentially win the major? This game is not going to decide that, but I think there's a world where they beat them.
It is time to find out who is going to be going 2-0 here in Budapest.
MOUZ right back where this day began, playing a little bit of Overpass, and we know that Paravision pushed them to the limits, but both times it is MOUZ to start this on the CT side.
Okay.
Yeah, B8 believes. MPL sitting in the backdrop here with the utility. Jimpat gave us a 4K on this very bomb site versus Paravision in the first round of his major. What's it gonna be this time, Jimmy? Eats that second flashbang. Support comes out from heaven out of Brolin. Very fast move from Xerxin over towards short side, and Jimmy will collect a first frag. Xerxin takes his pressure and goes right through that smoke.
Oh.
Senfield gets popped, and the Berettas will tear through. This time, another 4K. This time, it's Xerxin.
We saw those moments blossoming on the first game of the day here for MOUZ. Xerxin really put up a good effort to nearly pull out a 1v4. Lock down the sites, and now it looks like they're going to continue forward. He really wants to make this happen for Torji.
You know, Xerxin was somebody who took over in the first map as well. There was actually a halftime listen-in where Xerxin came out and said, like, guys, the game is here. We're at the major. You know, no more sighing down the mic. If we're going to win this game, we're going to win it by like pulling ourselves up now. And that was actually like a nice little moment of leadership out of him, something that we've attributed to Torji as this team has evolved. And it's nice to just know that Xerxin, who was playing incredibly well, was there to kind of pick up his teammates in what felt like a sketchy start to the major. You know, Torji's individual level in that first map wasn't anything to be super hyped up about, and I'm sure he adds that extra level of pressure on himself, wanting to play well in front of a crowd that's willing to chant his name in an anti-eco round.
With 2 frags, definitely.
You know, and the desk, I think in jest, the desk said, like, it feels like the first time we've really heard a crowd chant for MOUZ. But it's a team that, you know, some call Orioles. It's a team that not everybody wants to cheer for, but it's a team that does play incredibly good Counter-Strike, consistent abilities to get into so many deep playoff runs.
It was Cluj the first time we saw them win fans, right?
Yeah, 100%.
They did have the crowd on their side.
And I think Torji's exit interview in Austin was also somebody that definitely kind of pulled on the heartstrings of the Counter-Strike community. You could see just how badly they wanted it.
Yeah, just them not, them taking the moment seriously. Even though we know every player feels everything 100%, they don't always show it. And it was nice to get that vulnerability out of MOUZ for sure. Torji wears his heart on his sleeve. Pretty brave place to go here for B8. Knowing that MOUZ had a tough game, an overtime game, and they won versus Paravision for the first time anyone's beat them so far at this major.
First overtime break.
That's just such a good rep.
Torji hanging out on his angle. There's targets to be found, but not there. You can feel that looming threat getting closer, and there's a lot of bodies behind the first one as well. First real test for Torji on this second outing of Overpass. Flashes coming at it. He's again not quite sure when exactly it's going to strike, but he's losing teammates over on long. He plays the waiting game and pops head trick. Smoke drops in front of him. He's going to be content to just slide away from this, but that does allow B8 to get dangerously closer as NPL goes back to grab the bomb off of Torji's first kill. He gets into the cover, tries to go back at that instantly, and gives over opening kills. Good space creation here from B8, able to push that bomb onto the site, and they just do that, right? They creep closer and closer, and then they jump on this bomb site.
Yeah, it's going to be a sour moment for MOUZ because they kind of knew it was coming, and Torji was pre-scoped, waiting for that walk-up, but when he went for the re-peek, instantly died to the AK of B8, and we will see moments like that, right? B8 got here by taking out Falcons on Ancient. The display of aim was what we saw versus other teams. This was just versus the best team we'd seen so far. B8 are maturing very quickly as the days go on, and that's what's going to be scary. So here's a start where they answer back 4-4, and then, you know, they still are in a good spot, but as soon as Torji goes for that re-peek, he just assumes it's a free frag. the aim says differently here. Bait get on the board off that one kill.
Yeah, it's 3 nice instances of aim across it, right? We don't get to see Kenzizor's kill, but it's a headshot. Ascenthiel and Alex also insta headshots.
Yeah, it's always headshots.
Making sure to put down MOUZ's attempt at just holding on to their bomb site. So Bait don't waste any time to get on the scoreboard and to put that pressure right back on MOUZ. But pressure was something that we also had Paravision apply to them constantly.
I was going to say, they're going to have a lot of similarities between Paravision and Bait on the aim front. They're so similar. Like, so much love in the building for Torzy.
Just wait till we get to the arena.
Warms my heart personally. Just want this tech pause to go on forever.
I don't know how you can't love the guy.
You know, Budapest as a location came out of nowhere.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
After being here, it is actually such a beautiful place. Yeah. I would have known nothing about it. It's obviously one of the great parts about Counter-Strike, taking us all over the world.
You know, Europeans are real judgmental about other European cities. I've never heard a European say anything bad about this place.
No.
I can get it. And starting to find representation across the Counter-Strike community as well. Obviously, Torzy really flies that flag the highest. Flashy's got hopes of also hearing his name. But it's all fun and games until MOUZ lose.
He's going to cry whether they win or lose.
You know, I think this is one of the best things about Counter-Strike, finding new locations to host events, is there are people who love this game all across the world, and there are few players that can make it to the very top. And if you are one of these countries that finally gets represented on the biggest stages and the major comes your way.
Oh, it makes sense when you see good players come out of regions where there's lots of good players. But then you got Torzy, there's just not that many, you know, and for you to be at the pinnacle of that, the opera for MOUZ, that means a little bit more, I think. So there will be a lot of pride on the line.
100%. You know, I'll still never forget that Torzy was one of the operas that kind of really took a liking to CS2 immediately. Right? He's somebody who stepped it up pretty quickly. We had few instances of that. We had players that really disappeared.
Wow, he got started quickly. Yeah, I think his best year was like the first year of CS2, right? I have a feeling this is no longer a tech pause. This is tactical.
Yeah, Torzy ranking 20th in the top 20 players of 2024. His only top 20 appearance.
Another academy prodigy that has taken over the top 10.
But the only academy prodigy that really did it as a team for the most part, for the majority of that run, right? That's the anomaly about MOUZ, is that they came up from the academy leagues as a core with the same coach.
Yeah, well, there's only 2 of them left, well, besides their coach, but...
All right, back into the play. Our betting partner odds still favoring MOUZ, despite Bait picking up that last round.
And after that pause, how could you not?
Yeah, Bait are just scratching their heads like, where are our chants? Ascenthiel. Not gonna happen in this house. Spinks, opening kill, and Spinks has had a good affinity for these aggressive opening A plays for MOUZ's CT side. I mean, we saw that ace in overtime playing postured up on top of the playground of the party. So Headtricks on the hunt. Leave it to MOUZ to go aggressive off of the delayed start to round 4. Flash.
Perfect timing. Oh, beautiful.
Brolin sends that bad boy up from the other side of the map. Headtrick is good enough to catch a recovery frag.
And the flash goes over top of the stairs.
Thing is, they don't know that Torzy's also up inside of the bathrooms, now swapping over to the M4.
Always like the MOUZ setups here on Overpass.
Jimmy's got a lot of space taken down towards the B side as well, so this is going to be MOUZ happily bolstering this upper hit ahead of the commitment from Bait, who were able to find that opening kill off of Kenzizor towards long last round. It was one of the driving factors that got them onto this bomb site. This time, nobody's looking to peek into it. You got Torzy leaning back in bathrooms. You got Brolin kind of two minds still, but more concerned about this walk-up, and he's going to catch a Sentfield just as he rounds that first corner. That's bomb chuck down, head tricks off, far too valuable to lose, but you already see the push already. Jimmy sprinting to try to keep this off out of the hands of head trick at the end of the round, and if they kill him after time, this could be tough. He will catch Torzy at least.
That might put him in more risk, to be honest. They're going to be running forward into this. Head trick with the smoke behind him.
Trying to hang on for dear life, and
I guess they're worried about losing their guns. They don't want any other shots, so
they let it go.
They'll keep that, but it's this kind of floating point defense that MOUZ, I think, makes them so good at Overpass. I think right now we have to see like how good they're going to be as a team overall, but if they're going to match up to Paravision, beat them, take down Bait today, like show some really good rounds, they will be an Overpass threat at this event, and in general, they've always been so good when there's no obvious cover on a site of like supporting each other while floating, and I think that's always what makes them stand out. Very good at picking off angles to the CT side, and even we compare Paravision CT defense. The problem for them is that they'll like give up their whole structure and play really far back after a kill. Like they don't really know how to layer up and hold on to it. MOUZ know how to hold on to their layers, staying active, keeping forward information.
It's a boost times. Boost didn't see it. Torzy doesn't clip it. And this four-player start down towards B. It's gonna have a boost put up against it.
That would have been a nice nade.
His own nade, and it could have had so much bang for its buck. Looks like CTs are gonna go for a boost as well, and just as they disassemble this one, Zershin's on the chase. He's not gonna let NPL get away with it.
Oh, he wanted to repeat. Would have loved to see that. Ooh, you can already feel the pressure on Bait. MOUZ are showing up with their suits on. I would have never gone here. Not after the Paravision game.
To Overpass, you mean?
Yeah, I mean, they beat such a strong team, and that was the warm-up game, right? So,
yeah, because there was this actually kind of long break for MOUZ in terms of officials coming into this event. You know, they did prepare. They had their boot camp. Not quite a Falcon situation. But we haven't seen them in the server competing for a little bit of time. And you always wonder what sort of ring rust that puts on a roster.
There was a chance.
Up against Paravision, any crust is gone, and Spinks into the smoke. Gonna slip the net of this two-player Bait push up through bathrooms. Molly lands on Torzy. He loses Brolin instantly. Spinks comes back with back turned, and Torzy collects the frag to Alex. Bomb carrier stop. And Spinks' multi-kills,
they're just buttery.
Yeah, they've been coming to the forefront of these defensive moments more and more often as the Major has gone on. He was a pretty slow start when it came to that Paravision game, but obviously we know the ace in overtime worth its weight in gold. So slips the net, comes back at it, and denies Bait any attempt to even plant that bomb.
And he's really not compromising the position at all. They execute so early that smoke is down top bathrooms. He comes out while it's still up. Like, he's here to help. He only used this just to dip out for a second. As soon as one kill went down, like, there was not even a counter to this. And yeah, it's just so buttery with his aim.
It's pretty stark contrast. We want to draw parallels between Paravision and between Bait. You know, that was an entire game of Paravision who never stepped on the A bomb site.
Yeah.
And yet, we've had this targeted attack towards A couple rounds now for Bait.
And ever since they added Brolin's always been like this guy who can play such tough angles on the A side. He's been such a boon, I think, to MOUZ on this map. They haven't even really had to tap into him.
Bait tapping out of this one, pistols in hand. 3 sets of Kevlar across the board.
That they update information and they can keep using these boosts. They have the support for Zershin over top. Like, it's a lot of trust, but there's a lot of good information guaranteed that they're using. Alex already down to 1 HP. but the map feels tiny for Bait. The surveillance is working out well for MOUZ. And they already started 4B earlier this round, have peeled back into a 3-man setup.
Xerxin hears it coming, goes back off the nade for just a moment. Doesn't want them all just rounding that first corner easily. As he leans back, Desert Eagles put themselves on the angle, and Alex is going to be the first to topple this time. 40 seconds, short control for Bait. If they want to take over connector and pressure the A side, there is still time for that. But with how rambunctious MOUZ have been on B, I'd be shocked if they don't kind of go and confirm this, throw a boost up, jump spot the vacancy that Bait have left. But here they come towards the A side. Spinks is going to have to step up. Ooh, gets dinked, sits comfortably still on 70 health, and Torji's on the scene. Missed second shot, so be it. It's just pistols, you'd think. But those pistols still pack a punch. They come through with 2 frags, Brolin on cleanup, over to the sidearm himself, and it's Jimmy to come very quickly out through that smoke to secure it. Majority alive for MOUZ as they go up strong, 5-1.
I mean, by the end of that round, they were lucky to get 2 kills. Like, the amount of cameras that MOUZ had set up to watch every single position as they were coming. They wanted to go out for short control, out towards Monster, back towards short, up the stairs. There was a guy in place every single time to make sure that they could stop him, test him, do some wallbang damage.
That headshot on Spinks was a little bit scary, but he got his kill, he fell back into cover, and luckily for him, they didn't have time to throw anybody at long either, right? All in bathrooms there for Bait, just because of the timing of it. You want to play with that timing, you would have had more MOUZ members on site. So Spinks gets his, gets away. Torji goes for the deep long A play this time as we have Bait coming back to the table with guns.
Yeah, you see his shoulder there. Oh, falling off the slide.
That's Kenzizor down with nothing, and again, opening kill, MOUZ the advantage.
It sucks to get picked off like that. There's no one pushed up to trade. Oh, actually, okay, yeah, Torji makes his fall back. You can't trust that flash entirely. And they don't even know about the Spinks push on top of it.
Jimmy playing around in the open here, happy to go for these kinds of duels. I mean, in a 5v3.
One of the most brutal positions that you can be in on any map right now. 5v3, you know, 5 healthy CTs, lots of space, no idea where they've gone to.
And they're taking more.
And you have time to go for a full flank if you want to. Spinks already fully pushed up. Torzi has Khan locked down.
This is going to open the door for Brolin to slide down into the B site. So now we're talking about 3 members of MOUZ here. Ascentio brings 1 down, and Xerxin jumps down into the water. He's now suddenly on his own. Bait have done a good job of trying to get through. Xerxin welcomes the challenge.
Oh, nice shot.
NPL 1v3, 2 kills left with 30 health, awkwardly trying to climb in to elicit a peek, and Torji's not going to quite give it to him.
Oh.
Yeah, he'll set that bomb site.
You know, if he knew where Spinks was coming from, he could push for this. But he doesn't.
Chase comes around, and Spinks has got his back turned. 2 players left. It's a valiant effort out of Bait to still somehow puncture through that defense on the B bomb site, outnumbered 2-3.
Yeah, it's nice, and it's great to be good in the mid to late rounds and have ideas and keep hope alive, absolutely. But the fact is, these openers, the setups here for MOUZ, they look so perfect. They just look so thorough. They've covered everything. Can't let Torzi get a clip off like that on the slide. You can't get the 8 players falling back before you trade. You got to be careful what flashes you trust. I mean, it's good to throw a flash at long, but if an opper is really that far back, that's an after image flash at best.
Right.
You know, you're barely going to touch them, and you have like less than a second to actually swing out.
Perfect timing on that.
I like to see how little that does.
And just a comfortable flank there too, so. Bait trying to survive the pressure of the situation, the grueling effort that is.
Good. Focus on the game as well, but it's good energy, I like it.
Play as we do as practice, always wise advice. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that's 50 health off Kenzizor, that Mac 10 on the entry. Jimmy, no challenge.
Delicious.
Easy triple kill. USP's out as Xerxin will take the point off him, and Alex down to 84 health already. Will at least answer back for a second. What more can Alex really hope to do? You've already got a CT in your spawn, for God's sake. Alex gonna die to exactly that. Spinks finds timing on another flank, and MOUZ just fluid at the moment.
Yeah, they're putting it on right now. I'm loving the sprays from everybody. Jimmy's right there. It's just real perfect. Nate timings look good. Again, opening setups paying off in dividends here. Everything is just in place at the right time. You're seeing the flash assist and the kill feed. Lots of multi-kills. This half is quickly disappearing for B8. Sometimes on Overpass, you're trying to just quickly get set up into a B play and then go, oh, that was still nice from Spinks, totally blind. One back means that this round is alive, but Torzy, there he is.
Much stronger start to this map than versus Paravision, and I think, you know, some of that has to do with getting some of these earlier fights from his forward A setups. We talked about Paravision's ability to just constantly hit B over and over. That's going to make a tough job of Torzy. He'll find another.
Not bad.
Edge of the smoke. Alex gets spotted. We've already got Brolin pushing up and through the T-Con. And so Headtrick, tiptoeing his way to this bomb site, has no way to join up with Essential. And he's probably feeling like he is stranded at the moment. But we'll see if he catches anybody off.
What's funny is he's checking everything and he's right. There's CTs everywhere.
Essential starts coming back. Brolin has actually opted to move elsewhere, and that's where Torzy's going to get blindsided on the front of Bathurst. But that's okay. Brolin comes back quickly. But not as quickly as Essential can run forward. And not as quickly as the rest of MOUZ may expect Headtrick to be on this bomb site. He stomps. And by doing that, he then scrambles back to the dice box. They're not ready for that Brolin lingering lurk. And Brolin's going to double down on this, ensuring MOUZ keep majority alive in a very comfortable, now 8-1 lead.
You know what? That's kind of an unthinkable mistake to make in that spot. You don't make any noise. You're actually in such a great position. You can get a lurk kill 100%. So it's after these two frags from Torzy. This one's great. There's basically no hope until Headtrick gets on the site. But when he makes noise, everything's ruined. He was about to plant Optimus. He was about to lurk into CT, get a kill, maybe. Completely gave up the position.
And starting to give up hope on this half. 8-4, best case scenario for B8, and that would bank off of Tech9's here.
I love teams that play this way on Overpass. They don't play inside of blue. They play back.
Right.
They play with boost. They play with nades from behind. They get all the safe damage in from the CT side. I think that's the best way that we see. Like even Aurora, when they're playing this map looking strong, that's how they're doing it too. It used to be send your bravest player down the stairs and see what happens, but now CTs are getting more creative.
Times change. Counter-Strike evolves. Insertion. Looking like an Apex Predator as he peeks comfortably into the short side of things. 5v3 found. Jimmy goes in for a double of his own. Wants to go one further, and he will. This is MOUZ, who can seemingly do no wrong tonight. I mean, Paravision pushed them to their absolute limits.
Kind of shows how good Paravision are.
Agreed.
On the map, and again, their record speaks for it. It's actually quite brave of MOUZ to try to take them there, and for a while it looked like they were going to lose. But now we see the residual effects of that. It proves that Paravision were strong. MOUZ were just stronger, and they themselves had to warm up on that map.
I almost think this is best case scenario for MOUZ. I mean, you get pushed to your absolute limits. You've got to drag and crawl and claw your game into a place where you can take it back, and now you get a stomp. Now you get to absolutely obliterate a comparable challenger in B8 to Paravision. Two teams trying to make this their major.
This is worse than Falcons Passion UA even, how overwhelming the presence here for MOUZ is.
Which is all the more impressive because going into that game versus Passion, you kind of said off the broadcast, you're like, this has to be one of the most lopsided games. Just to kind of meet all expectations. This is a team that we expect more from in B8, and a team that showed us earlier today things weren't perfect. MOUZ have improved in the short turnaround between their opening challenge of Paravision to now what is absolutely embarrassing B8 on the main stage. Frag grenade ahead of Essential, another desperate 2 versus 5 act. As the curtain is quickly being called on this best of one. Crowd's been frothing to cheer on Torzy since before this game even started. And given the chance to do so, he's delivered. MOUZ back at it with 5 players strong. Definition of a stomp.
Haven't used the word masterclass yet, but I think it's time to spend that token. This is a masterclass CT side out of MOUZ from every perspective. The opening kills, the op in place, the use of boosts, their start rifle or Xertion putting up clips, everyone's consistency throughout this game. Jimmy over on the B site, like, it's just as much an individual effort as it is a team game so far this map. They have sucked absolutely all of the air out of the room.
Final attempt here for B8. We'll see if they can get one for the road the same way Passion did. It's a reminder, fight for every round. B8 would have loved to find themselves in the 2-0 pool again. Now with 2 kills back on the long push, finally starting to punish MOUZ somewhat. And what kind of a pace do they want to throw at this bomb site? Because if they go fast enough, they'll find Brolin on his own. He throws that interruptive flashbang over towards long. That stuns B8 momentarily. Fast connector flank's going to find a back turn, but Xertion doesn't get the headshot. Brolin's dead. Xertion with a shooting gallery ahead of him. Jimmy's also bested, and B8 will fight tooth and nail to the end for this. 2 rounds on the T side of Overpass isn't always enough. And with the form MOUZ currently are in, you'd think this game is over. But never, never write off B8 in a best of 1. Across an entire half of T-side, poor B8 only found a singular opening duel. 4 multi-kills for the entire team combined in 12 rounds of play. That is how dominant MOUZ just were in the CT outing of Overpass. Something that they wanted to show improvements on after being pushed to the limits by Paravision. It is safe to say MOUZ officially in Budapest.
Yes, I think B8 probably were thinking about, you know, should we go here? And there was probably a mixture of wanting to believe in themselves and thinking that they understand MOUZ, but okay, man. T-side, talk about opening kills. Now we're switching over, and MOUZ are still getting opening kills. 4 players here from B8 scrambling on CT side. This is a must-win pistol.
Not wasting any time. Essential not wasting any bullets. Beautiful headshot onto Brolin. That's going to have his teammates tuck into the corner of long for a second. But not everybody's moving, because check out Alex. He's all the way down, pushed already through Monster. He's going to be so far removed from this, assuming MOUZ
he has to
follow
wait, though.
through.
There's no one else in B. They could come downstairs, so he has to chill there. If he goes too far, then he opens up a new timing.
B8 sitting on this bomb site with 3, so as long as Alex is out of play, this is man advantage technically for MOUZ on this bomb site at least. Xertion gonna start moving inwards, finds one, and unfortunately can't kill him.
Oh, Spinks collecting frags.
3 frags. Oh, quad kill for Spinks!
We're not gonna get another ace, are we?
Alex on the fast flank, arrives on the scene. Bomb is to be planted, and Spinks shooting for a second ace here at the Major already. It is his for the taking. Teammates looking elsewhere. He'll go back for that flank, and he'll look for this. He loses Torji, and he's not going to play it greedily. Instead, just tucks in behind Optimus, and he's right there on the brink. Alex pushing in, and he'll let Jimmy close this out. Huge impact out of Spinks. When it matters most, MOUZ makes sure that Bait will not find their lifeline.
It was just collecting scalps. That was so nasty out of Spinks. 4 kills and definitely won the round because of it. I think Donk had 2 aces today. I read online off ace. I don't know if that actually happened or not. And then Spinks could have been his second of the day today as well. That would have been insane.
Donk off ace. Sounds like misinformation.
I mean, it could be.
Force buy situation here for Bait. Obviously going to be dire every step of the way. It's either a massive comeback to turn around momentum seized by MOUZ in an environment that is clearly playing favorites. But it's the sort of buy that could still upend MOUZ's early finish here. Xertion to go down into connector, loses his head, and there's a good push. Ascential and Kenzizor try to combine. Torji on the recovery.
He wants to take the peek.
Push gets caught. Torji's not going to fall victim to your games. And he'll stick around here looking for just a little more. He knows that you're up inside that connector.
Smoke's a little awkward, actually. It'll let the walkout happen, but Torzi's on the low ground. I don't think that Ascential will be ready for this timing necessarily.
Torzi playing around it. They're looking for one another. Oh, 3 kills now for Torzi.
And he's not overplaying it at all.
MP9 trying to chase him. He is happy to leave, but turns his back, and that is not the right moment.
He had to go get the bomb.
Yes, sir.
And they don't know about it, so Spinks with the lead off slightly. We'll see if he makes noise. We got this push off short from Alex.
Jimmy scoops up bomb because of Torji's death, and that does create a bit of uncertainty towards connector.
Spinks has a smoke here. I don't think he needs it for heaven because there's no op presence.
Sure.
This could be for short.
You block off short, Alex is out of the equation, and I think because Jimmy left connector, you've got to be worried about it, but that interrupted push from the MP9, now he's throwing it out into the bomb site. Otherwise, I think Alex loses vision. But now as they try to work up, it's NPL to catch Spinks, and no trade. Here we go. Bait's force buy works out with SMGs despite Torji's best efforts.
Yeah, man. Watching that from Torji's POV, it looked like he just won the round all by himself, but he did need a little bit of help right there.
Torji and MOUZ can't get too far ahead of themselves. Luckily for them, it's such a damning first half that you have afforded yourself a margin of error. Torji's going to go scout with upgraded pistols around him.
The fact that Torji's going to be able to play better with a crowd behind him just makes this even better. That last round.
MPL gets the first from the inside connector peak, but he'll go back up towards bathrooms to try to stop the others.
Oh, okay. You know, some people get more nervous when they have the fan support, right? You don't want to let people down. Some people embrace it, lean into it. It feels like that's the guy that Torji is for sure.
I think you also have to find out what kind of person you are when it actually happens. And we've heard MOUZ chants in the past, but never this type. Head trick under pressure, up close with that off. Missed shot, or rather hits it, goes back, finishes off what he started. This man is living in the double zoom. And that could be an op picked up, no? Jimmy looking for it.
Yeah, definitely. Inside of the smoke.
Little awkward to retrieve. Torji would love to grab
little upgrade.
It. Yeah. You give that to Torji. And I mean, honestly, they could play for the round win. They could play for the op save.
I don't know, man. I feel like they should just walk it back down or still try to go for the site. They were so close to it.
Walk down or walk around? Because it's looking like a long to A. Will they anticipate this push off of the bomb site from Ascential? Because they had all of that bathrooms control. Now, unfortunately for MOUZ, they've lost that side of this, and they're met by flames.
Torzi's got a new perform a miracle right here with this op.
Fire's gonna burn out. Kenzizor sitting on the angle. Op swings wide amongst that pack. And there's the shot from Torsi. He's got another.
He can plant.
2 kills to his name. Bomb plant inbound. MP9 quick swing. Oh, missed chance. Now the Glock's out.
Oh my goodness.
Woo! Would have been a clutch. Instead, the pressure's on, man. But you know, Torsi would have loved to finish that one off. Good on bait. They survived the challenge after giving Torsi the gun he should never be allowed.
I love to see that. Again, more fireworks here in the second half out of Torsi. Running that down was a big risk. There was just maybe an extra 1 second for another plant if you wanted to cancel it. But they were definitely a little bit scared.
Can't help but wonder if he came up off that plant with an op instead of the Glock.
Yeah.
But it may have also been emptied. I don't know.
Can never plan for that many missed bullets.
Still going to try to keep the pressure up here with another strong buy. Very costly at the start of this T side for MOUZ. Feels like they're trying to brute force the end of this map.
Yeah, well, yeah, you also just have them. They just lost so much money. They were so close to losing that round. We're down to 1 player, so it was a very expensive round for bait.
You did come into the last one with about the same. Damn near almost had it. Flash for long as bait disassembled that forward play. This is a lot of free space for MOUZ to take over. Ooh, missed shot for head trick. That one felt close, but close doesn't count. Kenzizor starting to think maybe he's going to get squeezed, and he's not wrong about that. They're coming at him.
Careful.
Tech 9 wide swing. MP9 down. Spinks, Desert Eagle headshot. Head trick may have missed the long shot. Can't afford to miss another. Will. And then onto the P250. Eats that flag upside the head. A second nade lands on him. And that's going to send the Opper spiraling back into bank.
Can you believe those HEs?
Man was on the retreat, and those frag grenades just chased him. Another D. As MOUZ bank on the pistols to come through, puncturing this defense. And so they understand that keeping the pressure on, force buy after force buy, continuing to put that meter stick between them and bait on this map. Because to come in with these purchases, yes, you know bait's economy's low, but it takes an element of confidence, and one that could have been bruised after the close affair versus Paravision, but that is not the case. MOUZ here to run through bait and sprint to that 2-0 pool.
Bottom line is they know what they're doing. Anybody can look like a stud on CT side, go over to T side, and then look completely lost. MOUZ are not one of those teams. They're careful about all their angle clears. It hit some insane shots right there. I can't believe they pull out 2 HE grenades to nade the site where they're on this half-buy attack. Like they knew exactly how this was all going to unfold.
Head trick just running for his life.
The nades were so perfect, Spinks couldn't even see him through the smoke.
It's another buy attempt for bait, obviously. Trying to survive this onslaught out of MOUZ.
And they won't have an op this time.
Gonna try to pressure connector. Molotov chucked out here by Brolin as he just runs through the smoke. Very confident opening move, and it's a lot of pressure, so they can't really handle it. They step up onto the top stairs, not anticipating a player to be here, but instead it feeds them too. Great chance for bait to extend the play.
Oh, he caught him with that.
One frag back by the way of Molotov. Ooh. Good dink comes through from Spinks, but still bested, and we go 4v2.
That's a lot of players they've actually pushed downstairs. They might be a little scared and trying to get back structure on the map. Not to say there's any real chance here for MOUZ, but I think the CTs are sort of flying blind right now.
Xertion getting closer. Oh, gets tagged up down to half. Ooh.
Oh my goodness, okay.
Dorsey almost got a chance at just firing off the Hail Mary, but not the case. So, lo and behold, bait find a fifth.
That was a big round from MPL. I mean, dink for dink on the first shot.
I mean, Brolin applied so much pressure. You saw when Bait came back from the top of stairs that him being back
didn't really
through the
believe it.
util, yeah, they were kind of blown away, but not blown apart. Kind of failing to capitalize on that element of surprise. Xerxion's going to keep the money low, and honestly, I feel like Bait needed the cash.
I think so too.
They've
Yeah,
been
they can
stuck in this
rebuy.
tough spot the whole half so far.
They're going to be missing a couple of grenades here and there if they keep chasing them down. At least they hang on to this op. I think Bait, they just feel that. They've just got so many rounds to come back into this. They want to try to make it as easy as possible, even though it gets a little bit more expensive. Not enough evidence here to believe in a full comeback so far, but for Bait, it's just one foot in front of the other.
Yeah, nowhere else to be, nothing else to do.
Every time you try to go to player into talking about the future of the tournament, what are your expectations? They never ever say, you know, on the one hand, they want to win the whole event.
Yeah.
They know that that's what you want to hear, but as a player, you're never going to get there unless you think about it one game at a time.
Yep.
So that's the answer you always get, and that's the same way that you make a comeback happen within a match.
You know, that's what I love, that StarLadder kind of ambushed us at the airport on arrival, and you don't always get to see that. Players on arrival and getting immediate thoughts within 5 minutes of landing in the city. And they asked the likes of Monacy, what are your expectations for this event? They asked the Sid of Furia, what are your expectations for this event? And they gave you the exact answers that you just mentioned. And then they asked Torzy.
Yeah.
And he said, well, obviously, I'm here to win.
Yeah.
This event means more to him than anybody else. He's got a team behind him that are so consistently making deep runs at events all year long. It is just about finding the finish line at the last event of the season. Alex gonna catch them off guard inside of Monster. So MOUZ's sprint to the finish line within this best of one, and not the bigger picture, is still getting delayed and doing more with less. You said limitation and utility, sure, but 2 free frags offered over by MOUZ just thinking they could walk out through a smoke.
It was a bit of a mistake. They definitely had a moment there where he didn't expect to see someone. MPL's out in the open a little bit, so, you know, he can make life horrible for MOUZ, but also is at risk of giving a kill back.
That's 70 damage on Jimmy. The pack swings into him. Torzy also takes a bit of damage in return for that one.
Don't want to call it a problem just yet, but Headtrick comes forward too.
Was the 5 versus 3 for Bait. They're gonna, again, remain on the pressure. We get this push down towards the T-spawn. Connector's getting pushed as well. And while forward control is good and all, I do feel like it still kind of leaves Headtrick a little lonely. So he's gonna peel back, try to join up ever closer to Kenzie Zor on the jump spots. It would take a hell of a shot from long to pop him as he's jumping without an op. So Headtrick on this angle.
Uh-oh.
Now we're on.
Held that one a little tight.
Now Brolin suddenly goes sprinting inwards. Sure, Ascenthiel can flank up through Connector, and he's gonna find the back of Brolin turn. Kenzie Zor activates, headshot onto Jimmy, and it's Torzy in another 1v3. Finds the first shot again, doesn't have the bomb. And without that bomb, he can't chance the plant. This op is far too valuable. It's another close moment made by MOUZ, and yet another round win here for Bait.
Oh, he could die after time. He's got to be very careful, but they're not coming to hunt him.
Yeah, they are pushing the flank.
Oh.
Alex gets to the tree just in time, and that's going to be Torzy down. No money, no op. And again, non-consecutive round wins for MOUZ throughout this T-side.
Yep. Thing is, they only have to trip over the finish line, so consecutive won't matter to them at this point. But this right here, there's a moment where I think Alex didn't expect them to be walking through. He didn't shoot right away, but they weren't looking in his direction. If they had, then that sort of gimmick move, no flash over Monster, no setup smoke, maybe that gets the kill. Hit through the wall.
That deagle shot, right? Yeah. You're eating cement, but you're lucky to be alive. Woo! Xerxion comes back. Hits the headshot.
Damn!
Oh,
What?
3 of them! 2 Desert Eagle kills, plus the Glock frag and the threat up from Connector. Alex doesn't want to let them out. Now we're talking about 4 frags from pistols. 3 of them to Xerxion's name.
But the bomb, it goes back upstairs instantly.
Just as Bait, we're starting to feel like this comeback was alive. MOUZ sends Xertion in for the triple, and they sit
Okay.
here and wait, but don't jumble up. They're blocking the angle. It's a quad kill finish with one of the least likely buys. MOUZ may have let B8 come back with some false confidence, but from the start of this game, we knew the outcome. MOUZ to the 2-0 pool here in Hungary. That'll lock in a game versus Spirit. I think opposition that